To Mali now, and polls have opened in presidential elections amid serious security concerns. The West African country is hoping the result will be a chance for stability after 6 years of trouble triggered by a coup. Incumbent President Ibrahim Boubacar Keita is seeking another term. Electoral officials were still finalising preparations on Saturday, but they're confident the vote will be smooth. Around 8 million people are registered to cast their ballot, but the threat of possible terror attacks means it's not clear how many people will turn up to make their mark. Well, let's get you the latest on that story. I'm joined live from Bamako by CGTN's Panina Karibe. Panina, what's the latest on the voting process?
Current voting began this morning at 8 local time. The President, Boubacar Keita, cast his ballot at this very place where we are. It's one of the 23,000 polling stations, and he voted about an hour ago. Now, I can tell you from what you can see behind me, this is actually replicated all over here. It looks like there's more press than there are voters, Karen. But then again, it's still early days. It's only 10 a.m. here. But looking at the various polling stations we've managed to visit so far this morning, we don't see a high voter turnout. I did speak to one of the observers, and he said that turnout is high. He spoke about even in other regions such as Kidal, but from what we've seen, current voter turnout really isn't as high. But then again, you've got to remember this is a country that is known to have the lowest voter turnout in the whole of West Africa. We're speaking of an average of about 40%. So really, we are waiting to see if the figures are going to change, if we are going to see longer queues as the day progresses.
So, Panina, what you've seen then, Panina, the voter turnout is not that high, at least at the moment. Can you tell us more about the security arrangements for this election? Perhaps that's having an impact.
Well, Karen, that's been a big concern for a lot of people, for voters, for observers as well. Security has been such a big concern even throughout the campaign. We know that just 2 days ago there were clashes in northern Mali, and we also heard from the president talking about his beefed security in all of those regions, especially the volatile areas such as Kidal, such as Gao and Timbuktu. Timbuktu, by the way, is where we had those clashes just 2 days ago, Karen. Now, I can tell you last night we had gunshots from our hotel right here in Bamako. We also saw yesterday some 5 truckloads of security officers. Now, government says they've deployed over 30,000 security officers countrywide to ensure the voting goes smoothly. But really, Karen, this is something that a lot of people are concerned about. And from the people we've spoken to, the electorate around here in Bamako, they've been telling us in areas such as Timbuktu, such as Gao and Kidal, the Electoral Commission didn't distribute voting materials because of insecurity. Government, of course, saying otherwise. And a lot of people also here in Bamako telling us they almost are sure that voting may not take place in those areas that I mentioned. So, Karen, that's a big issue, even as the government tries to convince people that security is taken care of.
Okay, so there are security issues over there at the moment. Who are the favourites to win the vote at this stage, would you say, Panina?
Well, it's an interesting campaign. Election, Karen. We've got 24 presidential candidates, and one of those is a woman. That's really historic for this country. But among those 24, 2 candidates stand out. Of course, we've got the incumbent, Boubacar Keita, who is seeking a second term, like you mentioned. But then we also have his main challenger, Soumaïla Cissé. This is a man who's really been a fierce rival to Boubacar Keita. He has served in government before. He was the finance minister from 1993 to 2000 twice. He has contested the presidency, going to a second round, but didn't win. So this will be his 3rd time. And really, pundits have been calling this a race too tight to call. It's almost split down the middle when you speak to the electorate here. There are those who feel he is the right candidate because of so many reasons they're talking about that the current administration hasn't fulfilled. We're talking about poverty. We're talking about bridging the gap between the rich and poor, high inflation and security as well. He is promising to deliver all of those things, and his supporters will tell you that this is a man who's got experience. All of those years in government, he knows what is required of this country. So really, that's the man to watch out for in this election, Karen.
Okay, thank you very much for that. That was CGTN's Panina Karibe there in Bamako for us following Mali's elections taking place right now.